Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with Wendy Y. Bailey. I am indeed Wendy Y. Bailey. I'm a 19-year veteran business and sales coach, and I show coaches how to master business. That includes infrastructure, processes, and systems. It includes marketing, which includes visibility and launch strategies. I like to use the term non-traditional because I don't believe that you should do what you see everyone else doing. I think you should find your own path to launching your programs, products, and services. And then I also show coaches how to create sales conversations that convert to cash. So I'm talking about one-to-one, one-to-many. I'm also talking about email marketing and emotional promotional copy. That's what I call it. And, in more than 19 years, I've seen a lot of things in the marketplace. And for me, this topic is really timely. Okay, it's really timely. The thing that I want to make sure you do, if you're watching me on Facebook, be sure that you give Grant StreamYard permission so that I can see your name. Say hi to me and let me know that you're out there. And you can also watch the replay. If you're catching the replay, go ahead and type hashtag replay in the comments. And I usually go back on all the platforms to see what questions or comments surfaced. And I'm broadcasting on my YouTube page, both of my Facebook groups, my Facebook page, just say YouTube page, my personal YouTube channel, Facebook page, Facebook profile, and two of my groups, and LinkedIn. So if you're watching me in any of those places and spaces, be sure that you say hi to me, and you also let me know if you're catching me on the replay and if you have questions along the way. So if you've missed any episodes so far, we've got more than 90 episodes. We're approaching our 100th episode on the show, and I'm excited about that. There's some special plans that I have around the 100th episode, so stay tuned for that. But you can always go and catch the show replays. All of the episodes are at profitablecoachingconversations.com. You can watch it there. You can listen to it there on your favorite audio platform as well. So let's kind of jump into what we're talking about today. The title is sort of a hybrid of what and why. So what you need to know to make more coaching offers and why you need to be making more coaching offers. It's all about getting more clients. It's also about, serving more people and making lots more money in what you're doing. So welcome to the show. Let's jump in. Let's see. Somebody sent me a comment. Hey, Carlin. Yeah, I'm happy about the 100 episodes too. So thank you so much for being here. So the first thing you've got to know if you want to make more offers is who your program is for. I talk about it all the time in a different way, but if you don't know who you're creating your program for or who your program was created for, you're missing out on opportunities to make it a very rich, content-rich program. When you know who your program is for, you can tailor it to the needs and the specifications of who you're targeting your program for. It's also important to know who your program is for so that you can know where they are and what to say to them. It's about language. It's about the message that you're sending out. That's really, really, really important when you are creating a program and when you are making more offers, right? Making more offers, I'm going to get to this in just a minute, but making more offers is what I see the marketplace really needs. And when I talk about knowing who your program is for, it means that you understand that you have a specific ideal client. Carlin, I know you've heard me say this before, that you're creating your program for. When you know that, again, you can make the content super rich, and you can also know where you're going to connect with people. Your program, and this is the next step, your program solves the problem for your most ideal client. Again, when you know who your program is for, your ideal client, and you know what problem your program solves, then you can make it a super content rich program. It's also attached to the messages you're sending to that person in the marketplace. And you want to attract a SEA of ideal clients who look just like that. Okay. When you're targeted, the more vague you are about who your message is for and who your program is for, the less likely you are to connect to people on that very spiritual level, if you will, that emotional level, to even talk to them about potentially enrolling in your program. Okay. You also need to know the value your solution offers to your who your program is for. So knowing who it's for, knowing what problem it solves, and understanding the value of that. Now, another way to look at that is when you understand the value, and the value is, these are the WendyY definitions of value. Okay. Value can be financial, it can be business, or it can be lifetime value. Those are my three definitions that I always give for value. Financial value is all about numbers. It increases, decreases, gains, losses, return on investment. Those are all financial terms. And when you know the value that your solution offers, your program offers, then you can articulate that value in those financial terms. I'm going to help you increase your income. We're going to help you lose pounds. We're going to lower your blood pressure, or we're going to reduce the amount of meds you're taking. We're going to position you for a promotion. Whatever it is, you need to know that financial value so that you can articulate that. The second type of value I mentioned was business value. That's about effectiveness and efficiency. So your client may say, oh, because I worked with you, I was able to increase my productivity by X%. I had a client, and it was a financial value and a business value. I had a client years ago. We worked together for about 2 years, and she's an accountant. And at the end of the first year, she said, because of our coaching, my sales have increased by 70% or 67%. And I was kind of like, wow, how did you get that number? And she said, well, I was tracking the impact of my coaching and, in relation to my business. And based on that, she said, my sales increased by 67%. I had another client, that's a financial value, right? But I had another client recently that told me her productivity increased by 70%. I was like, wow, how did you get that number? She said, well, I started looking at what I had accomplished before we started working together. And then I paid attention to how much we were able to accomplish working together. It's a financial value because it's related to numbers, but it was about efficiency and effectiveness because it made her productivity go up. Okay. So understand how to language value. Financial value is about numbers, it's increases, decreases, losses, gains. It's about reduction, whatever it is, return on investment. You need to know what that is. The second type of value I mentioned was business value. That's about efficiency or effectiveness. Sometimes what you find when you're working with somebody on business value types of programs, it really is about, now I have a structured system in place that I didn't have before. Now I know my business processes and I've been able to automate them because of the work we've done. Know what value looks like. Now, lifetime value is a third type of value, and it's a little bit more challenging to identify. But think of it this way: it is your catchphrases, it is the unique process that you're walking your clients through. It is, clearly, because of their work with you, there's something memorable that has shifted and changed for them that will continue to be in place. That big shift that they make will continue to be in place long after they've completed the coaching with you. And here's the story I like to tell. There are 4 words that I'm known for in the industry. I charge for that. Yep. People credit me even to this day. And I worked with them, 10, 15 years ago, and they still recognize me as the voice, if you will, of I charge for that. I even wrote a book about it. I charge for that. I do programs and I include I charge for that and the concepts that I've been teaching for years in that. So think of lifetime value as the gift that keeps giving long after you've completed your coaching with your client. They remember you, they recognize you, they tag you on social media to say, hey, I'm still thinking of this because you taught me, I charge for that, right? Whatever your isms are is what I call them. WendyY isms, I charge for that as a WendyY ism. So you have your catchphrases, you have your way of saying things. Years ago, I was working with one of my first virtual assistants, and we would talk, a couple of times a week or whatever. And I was trying to come up with an idea for a recommends page, where I recommended software and tools and people and all those kind of things. And she said, well, you say it a lot. I think you should call it, how cool is that? And I was like, do I say that a lot? She said, yeah, you say it a lot. That's a Wendy Y-ism. How cool is that? So what you'll see if you're on my mailing list, what you'll see is I use how cool is that, strategically. I don't overuse it, but I let people know that that's one of my catchphrases. People remember me for how cool is that? And I don't spell cool Kool, I spell cool Kewl. So think about your catchphrases. Think about your unique way of saying and doing things, because when you understand your unique way of saying and doing things, so will your clients remember those, because it's the gift that keeps giving. That's how you understand what value you're offering in your program. Then you get to find out, and I said this earlier, but I want to make sure I drive it home a little bit. Once you know who your solution is for, what problem or your program or solution solves, the value your solution offers. It now means that you get to find out where the people who your program is for, where they hang out. I see way too many coaches who are just posting randomly because they've seen other people post on various platforms. I tell my clients to pick two platforms where your most ideal client is likely to connect with you. Invest the time in creating high quality content there. Create a content strategy that makes a difference in terms of how you're going to do it. When I say a strategy, it's not just about posting randomly. It really is about understanding what the intention of your post. So when you post on LinkedIn, I know you're here, Carlin, and I know your ideal clients are actually, hey, Michael, good to see you. Your ideal clients are actually on LinkedIn. So what you're going to say is, on LinkedIn, what's my content strategy? Well, my content strategy is to post certain types of posts on LinkedIn. And from there, I want to drive people here. Maybe that's your blog. Maybe that's your website. Maybe that is from your website, or maybe it's from LinkedIn to your group, if you have a group on LinkedIn. But you've got to have a content strategy that walks people down the path of getting to know you, of engaging with you in a way. Okay. So LinkedIn post, this is for you, Carlin. LinkedIn post, send them to your funnel. Maybe it's not a lead magnet per se. Maybe it's an opportunity to get to know you in a session. I don't know. You got to figure out what that content strategy is. Then you talk about and you think about consistency as part of your content strategy. When you think about consistency as part of your content strategy, the more you do it, the more impact you're going to have. The more impact you're going to have, the more conversions you're going to experience. That's people who are now paying to be part of your program. So you got to have a strategy that leads to that. So you create your strategy based on knowing where your ideal client is going to be, so that you can be findable. I love that word, even though it's not my original word. It works. You need to be where people will find you, where you can attract your most ideal client. That's why it's important to be on the right platforms to do that. If you are on more than 3 platforms and you're actively posting on all 3, I say to you, reduce it to 2 and make sure your most ideal clients will be on those platforms and you will be findable. The other thing I want to say about where your ideal client hangs out, if you're someone who doesn't have a huge list, or if you're someone who doesn't have, a big following, a huge footprint in social media, maybe you want to partner with other people who do. Maybe you want to do a giveaway, okay, where you invite people who have larger platforms than you, a larger following than you. Maybe you do a list building summit. where you have, more people. This is about growing your following. This is about borrowing followers or borrowing traffic from other people who do have a following. Okay. Another way to get followers is to do more podcast episodes, be a guest on other podcasts. Once again, make sure that the podcast that you're on is going to be seen or heard. If it's a video versus audio, make sure it's going to be seen or heard by the people that you want, who your program is for, your most ideal client. Another way to get more visibility if you don't have it, to increase your followers if you don't have it, is to make sure that if you're so inclined to actually buy traffic, that means paid ads across social media. So those are three ways that I described. You can create an opportunity for people who do have the following and the audience that you're looking for to collaborate with you. Okay. You can get on podcast episodes. You can get on TV shows, radio shows, internet radio. There are tons and tons and tons of podcasts that you can be on. Don't just be on podcasts just for the sake of being on podcasts. Make sure that you're going to be in front of your most ideal clients, the people who you've designed your program to solve. Okay. And then the last thing is you can pay for ads to get more people in your list. Without a community, it's going to be hard for you to make more offers and increase conversions. So you've got to have a good community. They've got to be interactive. They've got to be responsive. And then you need to, the last thing I'll say is you need to make sure you're actively connecting with people via your email list. Okay. So your content strategy has to move to or include how you're communicating with your list on an ongoing basis. Are you giving them something every now and then? Are you staying in touch to let them know, where the opportunities are to work with you? Are you giving them value in what you're sharing in your emails that go to them? So looking at all of that is, again, part of a really substantive content strategy. Okay. And I used the word funnel once, but I want to make sure that you understand that selling really is about nurturing the relationships with people. So the better you are at nurturing those relationships, the better you are at showcasing your expertise in serving people and adding value for people, the more likely you are going to be able to have a content strategy or a funnel that leads to conversion. Okay. That's the way you really, really want to see that. And then the last thing I'm going to say, okay, let me go back to my banners. The last thing I want to say is make sure that you are increasing your activity level on the right platforms. I talked about the right platforms, but what I see too many people experience is they are actually not active enough. Okay. I saw a big internet marketer do an ad some time ago. And when he did the ad, he said, you should be posting on Instagram like 5 times a day, if that is a platform for you, 5 times a day. And I thought, wow, that's a lot. But, when I really thought about it, 5 is good. 3 is okay, but 5 is really good because you're increasing the opportunity for people to see you, for your most ideal clients to recognize your content. One of the things that I do is Clubhouse is connected to Instagram, right? So I do a lot of Clubhouse referring to my Instagram page for people to like or for people to view things. There is an opportunity for me to do more on Instagram because I'm on Clubhouse every week, a few times a week. So think about how you can increase your activity level on the right platforms. Back to you, Carlin. If, I know LinkedIn is your platform, so increase your activity there. If you're posting once, slowly double, triple, quadruple, increase your activity so that the algorithm sees that you're actually sharing content and you're sharing content that is important. Now, let me say this about LinkedIn. Again, Carlin, because you're here, I'm going to share this for you. LinkedIn likes for you to have a really meaty post. And what I mean by that is instead of always feeling like you have to have links in a post, just add value by sharing a story, a couple, 3 paragraphs, and then, add some hashtags to it that are meaningful to the post, that really connect to the post, right? Make sure that you do, again, if you're doing one, do two. If you're doing two, do three. If you're doing three, do six. Okay. So increase your activity, and then vary your post. So maybe you're talking about something that they have to link to in one post. Maybe you're sharing a short version of your blog post in another post. Maybe you have created your whole blog post in one of your one of your LinkedIn posts on their blog that directs people back to your blog. Okay, so they can read the whole thing, or they can see other articles that you've written. Okay, there are a lot of ways, but you got to have a content strategy that mixes it up, and you've got to just increase your activity. Okay, if you're only posting once a day, maybe twice a day, increase your activity and make sure that this is something you got to do. Okay, you've got to do live video, and if you're not approved to do live video on LinkedIn, go get approved. Okay, and the way you get approved is you apply for it, but make sure that you've created some live content before you get to that. Okay, before you apply, because in their review of it, they're going to go back and try to see where you've been live and what kind of content you've been creating. Okay, so when you think about really getting good at making more offers, it really is about the kind of activity you have across platforms. Okay, increase your activity. Why is it important to make more offers? And I don't have a slide for this, but why is it so important to make more offers? Because the more offers you make, the greater your opportunity to get people into your pipeline, into your funnel, into learning from you, into knowing and seeing exactly what can help them that you offer. The more they see you, the more you're top of mind, and the more people will want to engage with you around that. So, this has been an episode of the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with Wendy Y. Bailey. I am here every single week at 2 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays. If you missed the full episode, you can catch the replays of all 90 something episodes. I think this is episode number 94. And we're not long before we get to 100. And again, I'm going to be sharing some great insight with you around how we're going to celebrate that. But definitely go to profitablecoachingconversations.com. You can watch it. You can listen to it on your favorite audio platforms. And I'll be back next week for another great episode to support you. Thanks so much for being here, everyone. Be sure that you join the Profitable Coaching Society at profitablecoachingsociety.com. I'm going to be dropping a poll in there later today for the next couple of episodes. The society actually votes on the name and the topic for our upcoming episodes. So if you want to be in on that, go to profitablecoachingsociety.com. It is a private Facebook community that you can join. You can also receive a gift of content. Is called What Stops Your Sales Success and What to Do About It. It's a special report. And once you become a member, you answer all 3 of those questions that I have for you. My team is going to send you that very, very cool piece of content. So thanks everybody again for being here. Take care. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.